Welcome back to Chit Chat with Chels.
Hello, how are we?
We're great.
Are we?
Yeah.
Are you lying to me?
Yes.
Stop it. Our furnace may or may not have taken a shit today.
Yes.
Luckily, it's still going to be in the high 60s for at least a couple days.
I'm glad I decided to chicken out and turn it on.
Yeah, well, at least we figured it out for sure. And I should sound better in this podcast. I am eating this microphone, and I turned my gain up on my stuff. So hopefully you can fucking hear me this time, folks. Big smiles. Can you hear my fucking smile? I've cussed too much for the beginning of this podcast already, I believe.
I believe you have.
Oh.
That'll be fine.
Well, children?
I hope there's not children listening.
That would be awkward. That would be real awkward. That's okay, though. What are we doing today, my lady?
Today we are talking about relationships.
Oh, fuck, I'm checking out. Gone.
Not just like man and woman or man and man, woman and woman, whatever your preference is, relationships, but family relationships. Significant other relationships.
Sounds
parental
like
relationships.
Sounds like a bunch of drama.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
My favorite. I just took a pack out of my full pack when I have a half a pack right there.
You took a pack out of your full pack?
Something happened. Niner.
Don't smoke, folks.
Don't smoke, folks.
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 When you said folks, I'm like, what's a folk? Like, I don't want to smoke a folk.
Folks.
That's all, folks.
Whatever. Don't smoke. It's bad for your health.
Alrighty then.
Okay. Anyway, so yes, we're going to talk about relationships. As we all know, they can be very difficult to maintain sometimes, very difficult to maneuver. And we're going to figure out that we're not the only ones that are a little fucked up when it comes to relationships. Other people out there are too.
Whoa.
What?
We're not fucked up, dude.
Are you lying?
No. Yes.
Okay.
You're fucked up. I'm not fucked up.
That's fine. I'll admit to it.
Whatevs.
I'm a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. It's fine.
Let's take a moment in time to talk about the amount of bugs in the basement tonight.
Ew, I don't want to. I don't even want to acknowledge it.
There's I've killed 2 tiny spiders.
Mm-hmm.
There was a dead earwig on the floor.
I hate
and
those
there's
things.
all sorts of these the fucking orange beetles.
The
I don't
Asian
know.
beetles.
Yeah, if they're Asian beetles, whatever the hell they are.
That's what they are.
But it's finally starting to get cool enough outside, and they are coming on inside.
I think they come through the door that comes into the basement, like the cellar door where it opens up outside.
Oh, they're also probably coming through the foundation of the house. This house was built a long ass time ago.
I don't know. They can go back outside. Otherwise, they're going to die.
Well, good talk. Anyhows.
So if you guys see a bug or two, sorry about that. Not much I can do about it right now.
Currently, the cat is not in the basement either, and we only, I believe, have one dog. Is Spike behind you?
No. The cat is right outside the room.
Yeah, she's preparing herself.
She'll be in. So,
Indeed.
But we did move the cameras, so we will see if she ends up in front of one of them.
She'll probably end up on my lap or on the table.
Probably.
Well, on my lap is fine, but at least she's not, like, rubbing against one. I'm hoping this isn't too loud. I noticed that I'm pretty loud on there.
Do you want to turn it down a little bit?
No, let's run it.
Okay.
Let's run it.
Sorry if he's too loud, guys. That's his fault.
Yeah.
Mine.
Fourth episode, we're figuring things out, so.
When are you going to figure out how to count?
Is this not the 4th episode?
It's the 5th one.
Oh, I'm.
You're a week behind.
Yeah, I'm editing the 4th one. All right.
You did this in the last one, too. He was just editing and literally edited a part in the next one, which you guys will have already heard at this point, that he was like, "Oh, this is the third, or this is the second one," and I was like, "No, it's not.
See, now you've got it backwards.
I do have it backwards. You're like, this is the third one."
All right, so sorry for that confusion.
And I was like, "No, it's the fourth. Now we're on the fifth.
We're doing great.
We're getting there."
But anyway, yeah, we're figuring this out. Cameras have moved. The mics have stayed put. My mic is louder. I'm talking into the mic. I hope your ear hurts now.
They just have to turn down their volume. It'll be
Yeah,
fine.
you be aight.
But yes, relationships. We all have them. So
We do. What are we starting with here?
we're gonna start with an Am I the A-hole? Actually, I think all of the stories today are Am I the A-holes?
That's fair. That's very relationship fitting.
Yes. Am I the a-hole for getting up from my chair in the middle of Christmas dinner and shouting, "Shut the fuck up" about my body in response to my husband's observation?
Whew. Relationships and holidays.
And, well, it's about to be the holiday season, so.
It's a way to get in the holiday spirit.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. I might have another episode on just holiday drama.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. All right. So, ever since I had my son months ago, my husband has started making indirect comments about my body. He never says any hurtful words, but I find his observations, as he calls it, hurtful. For example, he sees me wearing an old top and says, "Oh, that top used to look good on you, but not anymore though." Or when he looks at my waist and says, "Wow, didn't know your waist could get this wide." Basically, passive stuff that I have tried to ignore till it extended to friends and family. FYI, this went on for months and months and months. We went to Christmas celebration at his family's home. My sister-in-law complimented my floral maxi dress, and my husband said, "I agree, it looks nice on you. Though I have to admit that your waist could get smaller than this." Awkward silence took over. I was absolutely fuming, and this was my last straw. So I got up from my chair in the middle of dinner and shouted at the top of my lungs, "Shut the fuck up about my body." He was absolutely speechless as his family stared while some others tried to get me to calm down. But situation got more tense and dinner ended up being cut short and my husband storming off to his friend's place to spend the night upon leaving a very nasty text saying I embarrassed him and made a scene over an observation he made. He called me childish and told me to get therapy for my insecurities instead of verbally abusing him and scaring his family. Now I feel like an absolute idiot, asshole, and like I ruined Christmas for him and everybody with my oversensitivity. Am I the a-hole?
No, you're not the asshole, not one bit. First of all, your husband's the fucking asshole. So let's say this, or I'll say this. We've been together for 5 years.
Yes.
We've both gotten bigger.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
It happens.
I would never, ever say to you any of those things. Not once.
No.
I don't have to say things to you that you already know.
Yeah.
We are both self-conscious about our bodies because we both know how we look when we're skinnier. But then for him to turn around and say that, oh shit, I had it in my head. What was that text? Can you read the text part again? I'm sorry.
Let me get back. Saying I embarrassed him and made a scene over an observation he made. He called me childish and told me to get therapy for my insecurities instead of verbally abusing him and scaring his family.
There it is, verbally abusing him. Mm-hmm. He has been verbally abusing her by making comments about her size and these clothes that she's wearing. If you loved her, you would not say any of that shit. Especially not like that. It's one thing to say, hey, maybe we should eat differently or let's try and go to the gym. Something more passive in that sense works better. However, it is still a very touchy thing to have that conversation, and I think that you should be very comfortable with your partner before you even think about having that fucking conversation.
And to add to that, the reason she got bigger is because she carried his son.
Oh.
Like, she had a child.
Well,
so it's going to change your body. And I feel like a lot of people don't even like, look at that. Like, it's going to change the body. If you weren't okay with your wife's body changing, then maybe you guys shouldn't have had a kid. Or look at your own insecurities. Because she obviously looked good enough in that dress for her sister-in-law, I'm guessing his sister, to compliment her. And why are you saying these things to begin with, let alone in front of your family? Are you trying to embarrass her?
Right. Every time that something like that is said, it's belittling to the person you're saying that to.
Yes.
Every time. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if that's your brother, your sister, anyone that you say that to, that's very belittling.
And I'm sorry, he can keep his observations to himself.
Yeah, an observation, putting it as an observation is such a dumb fucking way to put that.
Yeah, it's an insult. You're
It's
insulting your wife.
100% an insult.
She's obviously deemed not the asshole.
Thank
because
fuck.
No. This was 2 years ago. Top comment is, I think the last thing your husband really wants is for you to get therapy. If you do, you'll discover that he is an emotionally abusive bully and stop feeling guilty for refusing to put up with his BS. Not the a-hole, but your husband is. Do as he recommended and get therapy so that you can regain the self-confidence he has eroded with his cruel observations.
Agreed. Yeah. Therapy would only show if you told any therapist that your significant other was saying some shit like that, therapy would only tell you that they're a piece of shit.
Yeah, there's a lot of agree. This is gaslighting 101, the default position of abusers and bullies. OP deserves so much better than this. He definitely just wants her to feel crazy and overly sensitive. I 100% agree. OP should, in fact, text this back to him. Stop gaslighting me. You've been abusive and a bully. You need therapy to figure this out, because if not, our marriage may be over.
I agree. That's crazy.
Yeah. No, I couldn't be with someone who would talk to me like that. There's enough that goes on in my own head about how I feel about myself. Don't need someone else telling me.
Right.
Ever. That's not someone who's supposed to love you.
Right. And like I said, like, there's ways to go about that conversation. It's hard. It's a hard conversation to have when you, I don't even really know how to put it, when you notice that your partner's gained weight or whatever. It's not going to be a easy conversation to have.
No, but there are ways to be sensitive about the topic.
Right. Right.
Like, you don't have to say it like that.
Yeah, and especially after having a kid, like, obviously that's going to happen. And if she's not the type of person that was, like, in the gym before.
Yeah.
Because it takes a lot.
It does, and it takes a lot of discipline, and I am not one that has discipline. So it's hard. It's hard to get up and want to do that every day, and then you're like, oh, I put in all this work, and you don't see anything.
Right.
You know, and the thing is when a woman has a child, it takes months upon months upon months, even up to years, for her body to fully recover from carrying that child and giving birth to that child.
Right.
It's not talked about a lot, but it takes so long for them to even be completely, like, up to par to be working out like that and getting fit and all of that stuff. Like, it's not oh, snap your fingers.
Right.
I'm skinny again. It doesn't work that way.
I'd like to see what this guy looks like.
Right. That guy pissed me off. I did not like that at all. Not the asshole at all. I would divorce him, but definitely go to therapy.
Yeah.
Figure out what's wrong with him. Okay. So this is another husband one, but also a mother-in-law.
Here's Spike. Found him.
Spike has now come into the room.
He's like, I think my brother's up here.
Draco's underneath the blanket. He likes to burrow. So Spike might lay on him.
He shouldn't. They normally lay pretty far apart. Did he even get on the couch?
Not yet. So the next one, 3 years ago. Am I the asshole for walking out of the airport when I saw my husband's mom standing there with her luggage?
Am I the asshole for walking out of the airport?
When I saw my husband's mom standing there with her luggage. Oh, yeah.
More context, please.
Definitely. I, female 30, don't have the best relationship with my husband's mom. Since day one, she tried to make remarks and compare me to her. Question mark, question mark. She then tried to get on my good side and started overly praising everything I do and sometimes even copying me, like the one time when she literally dyed her hair purple just like mine. And when everyone pointed out how ridiculous she looked, she actually blamed me and accused me of trying to make a joke out of her. So anyways, my husband and I took 2 weeks off work to go visit some places out of the country, tourism in other words. Thing is, I was the one who saved up for and arranged for the trip. My husband was responsible for booking the tickets. My husband's mom wanted to come along and threw a temper tantrum when I said no. She called, texted, sent people to talk to me into letting her come, even threatened to call the police and make some complaint up to get us to stay if she can't come. My husband said we should just take her. But I told him he was wrong to tell her about the trip in the first place. He gave me an ultimatum. Said he wouldn't go if she can't come, and I told him I'd gladly call his bluff, which made him take his words back and say, fine, I will tell her to stop it because we won't take her. Things got quieter, suspiciously quieter. The day of the trip came, and we got to the airport at 2 p.m. My husband was walking ahead of me and was looking left and right like he was looking for someone. I asked him, but he didn't respond. He led me to the waiting area, and first thing I saw was his mom standing there with her luggage. I froze in my spot. I felt a cold wave washing over me, and I was fuming inside. She and my husband were hugging. That's when I quietly turned around and started walking towards the exit. My husband followed me while shouting at me to stop. He tried to stop me, but I told him off the harshest way possible. He tried to say I was overreacting and that his mom was there anyway and that I should let it go and not mess the trip up for us. I told him he and his mom could still go and that I was going home. I went home and sobbed into my dog's fur for several minutes. Turned out he booked her a ticket without me knowing. An hour later, he came home yelling and raging about how pathetic and spiteful I was to walk out and go home and ruin the trip last minute. I told him he caused this to happen. He said that I was being so hard on his mom, it's ridiculous. I refused to fight anymore, but he kept on berating me and called my family to tell them the trip was canceled and that it was because of me. My family said that I shouldn't have ruined it for myself and should have sucked it up and done my best to enjoy it. Did I really overreact?
No, I don't think so. Can you help Spike out? Sorry, I don't know what he was doing, but he almost pulled the whole curtain down.
Oh, goodness.
No, I think that there's a line that you just don't cross, and it sounds like the mom crossed the line all the time. Like, you can't have any independence for anything. Why do you got to be there for fucking everything? And a vacation between husband and wife should be
a 2-week vacation that she saved up for.
Right.
He was only in charge of purchasing the tickets.
Right. Like, dude, I love my mom to death. But if we were going on a vacation, I wouldn't be like, hey, mom, come on this vacation with us. Like, even if she was like, oh, I'll do everything, like, no, probably not.
That would be weird.
It would be weird.
Like, I love your mom. Don't get me wrong. But normally, a trip between a husband and wife is between a husband and wife.
Right.
Like, go and enjoy your time together.
Right.
And 2 weeks. Who usually gets 2 weeks?
Exactly.
Like,
it's so crazy.
And it sounded like a once-in-a-lifetime trip, too. Like, it was out of the country. It was doing all the tourism stuff that I guarantee they've never been able to do before.
Right.
Like, why does your mom need to be there?
See, and it would be a little different to me if, like, my mom, my stepdad were going to come and, like, we're going to do this whole thing together. But, like, it's okay if it's all planned together. Like if we plan to take a trip to wherever.
Right, like if it was a family planned
Yeah.
affair.
Yeah. And like, okay, we're going to have an itinerary. Like me and mom are going to do this. And like, we want you guys to come along, blah, 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 whatever. That's fine. But a whole 2-week trip with just your mom just because she thinks she needs to be there.
Well, and I don't know if you caught the part where she was having people text and call her OP and said that she would file a false, basically a false police report to keep them to stay.
Yeah, that's like, first of all, that would just get her in trouble.
Right.
You can't falsify reports. That's literally
Yeah.
a charge that you can get.
Even threatened to call the police and make some complaint up to get us to stay if she can't come. Are you kidding me?
That is
Over
super
a trip?
childish.
Over a trip.
Right.
Like, go plan a trip yourself. Why do you need to go? Obviously, this OP was deemed not the asshole. Top comment. I don't want to call the divorce card, but divorce. You told your boundaries. You said no. She crossed it. Your husband told you he would tell her no. He lied. He tried to pin you in a corner by not saying anything and bringing her anyways and got upset you refused to be a part of the little trip. And then to berate you, he's not a good man. He needs to go. Not the asshole.
Yeah, that's crazy. I would never. That's like, how the fuck do you hide that? Like, what the hell? I just don't understand some of these people. Like, oh, I'm going to do this. Like, what the fuck do you think the end game is going to be?
I think that he most likely thought that if he did this and she didn't find out till right before they were going to get on the plane, that she wouldn't cancel. That she would just go and deal with it.
See, and that, like, that just says to me, like, you don't know your wife very good.
No. And she put up her barriers. She told him,
Right.
I'm not going to go with your mother. Sounds to me like he wants to be married to his mom.
Yikes.
I'm just saying. Like,
I mean, I get it.
it really does. Or his mom wants to be married to him.
Yeah, that's. I feel like that's a little bit more.
Um,
Along the line.
Another comment. I agree this is a relationship ending. Unfortunately, this seems less like lacks a backbone to me and more like values his mom more than his significant other and is willing to use his backbone to sabotage significant other and lie. At the end of the day, not really better for the significant other, but from the outside, he looks actively harmful rather than a grown-up kid who never learned to stand up to his mom.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not poor OP.
That's really like.
It's just sad.
Yeah. How unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I don't know. Maybe it's just like the relationship that we have. But like, I just don't understand things like that. Like, there's been plenty, I have plenty of instances where like something was mentioned and like you don't like that. And I'm like, that's the line. You just don't like it. I don't want to put you in that situation. I don't want to talk about whatever that is because I don't want you to get in a mindset. Because to me, your mood affects me.
Right.
If we're going to be, you know, like if we're spending the whole day together,
Mm-hmm.
if you get in a bad mood, it's going to turn my mood.
Yeah. So vice versa.
So it's like slightly different. Like if you're at work and I'm at home and like something gets said, which even still I'm like, well, I don't want to piss her off.
Yeah, because then once I'm home,
Right.
things are
You
just
know?
weird or off. But I feel like we also have we communicate a lot.
Right.
You know when something's wrong with me. I know when something's wrong with you. We usually figure out what's going on. But we also don't keep things from each other.
No.
Like, you can't lie to me anyway. You even if you tried.
I have tried. I'm like, I'm not going to fucking tell her I bought this fishing pole. I've literally done that. Like,
And then I get home and you're like, so I bought a fishing pole.
Yeah,
and
I
wasn't going to tell you. And I'm like, okay.
I just immediately wrap myself out.
Yeah. Or I'll
I
see it on the
ate the
counter.
fucking last Oreo. Sorry.
Or I'll see something on the counter and I'm like, what? Did you get this? Oh, yeah. I wasn't going to tell you, but... Which I could give 2 craps less. However, if it was something as big as a trip and you bring an extra person along, you would never do that.
No, it's... Why? I just don't understand the logic. It's like, if I'm planning a trip... I mean, okay, the only trip we've really taken is our honeymoon. Like, a decent trip was the honeymoon. Like, obviously, I'm not going to invite anybody else along for that.
I don't know. We went to Omaha.
I mean, yeah, I guess, but that was to see people.
Yeah.
But to, like, go and do touristy things like we did on the honeymoon, like, the only instance that I could see wanting to bring somebody else along is if it was, like, a planned event.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way that somebody could sucker me into having them come with.
No.
And then also have it unbeknownst to you.
Yeah, if it was planned to go together, totally understand. With that, I don't know if I could be able to get over that because he lied to her. And he didn't just lie to her. He hid things from her. She set a boundary and he didn't.
He destroyed that.
He destroyed that boundary.
When was this posted?
That one was. Sorry, I clicked out of it.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. That's not what I was trying to click on. 3 years ago.
Okay, so yeah, it's not even like it was a while ago. So, like, obviously a 2-week out of country trip is expensive.
Yeah.
So, wow.
Yeah, let me see. I want to see if they ever posted any other post. Oh.
Is there an update?
There is an update.
Ooh,
I didn't know there was an unexpected update. I did not know there was an update. Oh, wow. Okay. Update. Am I the asshole for walking out of the airport when I saw my husband's mom standing there with her luggage? I had no idea there was an update. Okay. I'm so excited. I've never had this happen. Hello. I don't know where to begin. It's been an absolute nightmare recently, and I feel like I'm losing my sanity. So for more details about my situation, I have to admit that my husband's mom favors him over all his siblings. This affected his relationship with them and me as well. He's never seen an issue with how differently his mom treats him. It bothered me and made me feel uncomfortable. The whole dynamic made me feel uncomfortable. Going low contact has never been an option, like he has to see her or call her every day. Most of his siblings don't talk to him, and I 100% believe it's because of his mom's favoritism, like I said. He does bear some blame for not seeing how wrong this is till this day. In many instances, I found myself making excuses for his behavior. Even in my post, I did it spontaneously, and I don't know why. But I guess it's because of how much I love him, and because I really, really wanted to be able to work this type of thing out without letting them affect our marriage. Regarding what happened with this trip, he tried to have a talk with me, and most of what he said came from a place of blame. Blame towards me. I just couldn't continue with his argument. I told him I needed space and that I would be going to stay with my sister for a while. He didn't take it well. He literally got up from the couch and opened the door, telling me to go right then. In that moment, and seeing how he was still not even anywhere near understanding what he has done, just made things perfectly clear to me. I just had pictured years and years of my life being lived like this, and I was like, no, I can't do it. Can't take any more of it, especially when he keeps focusing on being right every time. His mom can do no wrong. I'm always the aggressive, crazy, jealous, pathetic overreactor. All these people's opinions, advice, and concerns were like a spark, like the wake-up call I really needed. Though I wish that I didn't get this far, but what's done is done. Right now I'm staying with my sister. I brought my dog with me as well. He sent me his last message telling me I'm the one choosing to end what we had together, but I believe it's the other way around, especially with how he keeps making his mom the victim in this situation. It's become clear now that we keep going in circles with no end in reach, and I'm just so exhausted and overwhelmed. I'm not mad at him and don't expect him to change, but at least I'm given options to decide what's best for me and my future, even if it's separation and divorce. A big thank you to those who reached out with resources that I feel very, very lucky to have come across. Just wanted to give you an update since many of you asked for it.
Wow.
Yeah. Top comment on the update. I'm sorry you are going through this, but I am also so very, very, very proud of you. You are standing up for yourself, putting yourself first, looking into the future, and making sure it will be what you want it to be. I wish you the best of luck. Give the doggo the biggest of hugs and lots of pets.
Agreed.
I mean, good for her. I really got to start checking if there's updates.
I don't know. That surprise update was kind of fun. I like that. It's shit. I don't know. I guess to be honest with you, it's not really surprising that was the update.
Yeah, it looks like OP has responded a lot to the comments. One of the responses is it wouldn't have been fun at all. It would have been absolutely disastrous, and I'm not even exaggerating. That is why I immediately walked out. I know I didn't have the mental and physical strength to deal with it.
Yeah, also good for her for that, because
She knew.
yeah, you knew it, but imagine if you would have tried to suffer through it.
Oh my gosh, she would have been so miserable. She would have just wanted to go home.
Right. And then imagine having that feeling and then being out of the country, nowhere close to home, and feeling trapped out there.
No, that's horrible. That's horrible. Another comment from OP. He tells me that I'm hard to deal with when it comes to his mom and thinks that I'm not willing to work my issues out with her, but I try my best, then get shut down.
This seems like the biggest case of mommy's boy. This coming from a mama's boy. like I said, I love my mom, but there's no way.
No. There's no way. And it looks like it is a throwaway account. They don't have any other posts other than the original and the update 3 years ago. So hopefully at this point she is living happily with her puppers away from her now ex-husband.
Yeah, I hope so. That is like weirdly toxic.
It's extremely toxic. And I don't do toxic anymore.
Same though, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess I say. You're not toxic.
No.
Absolutely not. No, I mean, even if you were a little toxic, you are like far from the toxic that I've experienced. A far fucking cry.
Well, let's see what your opinion is on this next story.
Dun, dun, dun. We need a little drum roll sound effect.
I know.
You know there's sound effects built into that thing?
Oh, I'm going to have to play with that. Like, is it like a round of applause and like stuff like that?
Yeah, and I don't know.
I wonder how that works. I'll have to play with it.
Yeah,
I'll look some stuff up. So maybe we'll have some sound effects here coming soon.
I think actually like your intro music and stuff I can program onto that.
Oh. Okay.
See, I don't know shit about fuck when it comes to any of this stuff.
Yeah, well, we're
It's
figuring it
all
out
trial,
as we go, people.
All trial and error. If somebody knows a little something about something,
let us know.
Yeah, shoot one of us a DM on something. You can find me at Monster Fish Outdoors and obviously
Chit Chat with Chels on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify. Shoot me a message.
Yeah, let us know.
This one is, am I the asshole for telling my sister if she doesn't go to the funeral due to her fear of dead people, she will blow up all of her relationships?
Holy shit.
Surprise!
Surprise?
I don't know that it's pretty deep.
I don't know if surprise. I don't know if that's what I would have exclaimed after that fucking headline.
What should I have exclaimed?
I don't know, but surprise.
Ghosts.
Okay, that might have been weird too. Let's get on with this one.
Anyway, sorry guys. Um, my sister and I are pretty close, and we are friends with Kat. Kat recently passed away in her funeral viewing this weekend. My sister Sammy has a fear of the dead. She strongly believes in ghosts and even has trouble with any meat due to her beliefs. I called her up and told her I can pick her up to do on Saturday since I knew she was having car trouble. She informed me she will not be going. I asked why, and she told me she can't be around a ghost. I asked if she was joking and told her she can just stand in the back, but everyone is expecting her to go. We are close friends with the family. I told her she needs to go or she will blow up all of her relationships, including me. She said that won't happen, and I told her that the family will never forgive her, and I don't think I will either since we have known her for years. She hung up, and I got a call from my mom for making her cry and being a jerk for telling her what will happen if she doesn't go. Am I the asshole?
Does it say an age anywhere?
No.
I suppose, I don't know. Age is generally irrelevant and something like that, but
I feel
I
like
could understand it more if it was a younger kid or.
I feel like you can't force someone to go to something like that.
No, you can't. There's funerals that I should have went to. I
Same.
reserved that basically for those who I'm very close with.
Yeah.
Which kind of sounds shitty. There's definitely been some folks that I went to school with that passed away and that I had times with, but I don't know. I basically reserve that for family. That's just my own personal preference. However, I feel like your fear of the dead is a little, should I say, irrational, maybe, when it comes to a friend of yours. Like it sounds like they were pretty close with the person and the family. So, like, how fucking bad is this fear that you can't put that aside for an hour?
I get that, but at the same time, like, let's say it's at a funeral home. So then her fear may be that there's other ghosts there still from all the funerals that are there. And if she's so scared of the dead and has such a big fear of the dead that she has trouble with any meat due to her beliefs, it may be irrational, but so is a fear of baby spiders. And you're scared of spiders.
Damn, bro,
So
you didn't have to fucking call me out like that.
So is a fear of clowns. So is a fear of pretty much anything that's not going to kill you. Don't look at me like that.
I am fucking looking. You end that sentence with fear of anything that can kill you or something.
That isn't going to kill you.
Isn't okay, yeah, all right. So that little tiny spider that I killed earlier could have been a very venomous spider. It could have bit me. It could have fucked me up.
That looked like an orb weaver.
You fucking only know what an orb weaver is because I pointed out what they were on the back fucking door.
That's not the point. Now
That's
I know what
my
they are.
point.
Anyway.
Jesus.
And this is our relationship in a whole.
Oh my God.
Do you think that this woman is an asshole for how she spoke to her sister?
I'm going to say no.
Reddit disagrees with you. Reddit has deemed her the asshole. Top comment. Yeah, you're the asshole. Regardless of how ridiculous her fear is, it's not your place to decide what she does and does not attend. She doesn't want to go, so you threaten her relationship with you. You're going to stop talking to your sister because she didn't attend a friend's funeral. Sounds like she's not losing much, truth be heard. She can pay her respects in a way she is comfortable and doesn't have to attend the funeral to appease you. If people are willing to blow up their relationship over this, they weren't people worth knowing anyway. You're the asshole.
I guess I can see it from both sides a little bit.
Yeah, irrational fears are just that, irrational. You can't make someone stop being terrified by yelling at them about what they are supposed to do. And what is a funeral for? To give comfort to the family, to share grief, to come together and support. Forcing people who don't want to be there to come does none of these things.
Okay.
Are you still she's not the asshole, or?
Yeah, she's probably the asshole.
I think it's the way she went about it. Like,
Yeah, that's
I can understand her wanting her sister to go. 100% I can understand that, especially if it was a close family friend. You know, everybody is expecting them to be there. I get that she wants to be there. She wants her sister to be there. However, her sister told her no. Again, set up a boundary. And this sister is trying to just break through that. And that's not, in my eyes, that's not fair. You can't force someone to do something that you want them to do just because you want them to do it.
okay. I agree. Yeah, I'm glad that you're good at explaining things from the other side because,
Devil's advocate.
yeah, there's a lot of times when I hear something, I'm like, fuck you.
Yeah. When I initially read this, I was like, well, I get where she's coming from. But I saw the asshole verdict and I was like, I need to read these comments. And I read a few of them, but I was like, I get that. Like,
Yeah.
that makes sense because she could have easily like talked to her sister and been like, hey, like it's really important for you to go and say goodbye. And then when her sister set that hard boundary, that hard no, I'm not going, this is my belief, she should have left it at that.
I agree.
Rather than like being like, oh, well, you're going to ruin your relationship with me. No, you're her sister. You're supposed to be there. Be like, okay, I'll bring you back one of the little like funeral things,
Right.
you know, so you can have that.
Yeah, you're right.
All right, moving on.
You love hearing that, don't you?
I do.
Moving on.
Well, I'm right a lot of the time. So when you actually admit to it,
Okay.
it's nice.
All right. Didn't know I needed my fucking boots on.
Okay. This one was posted 2 years ago. Am I the asshole for responding to my father's request for a relationship with a detailed PowerPoint on why he will never be forgiven?
Somebody made a PowerPoint for their own father?
Yep. On why he will never be forgiven. And they want to know if they're the asshole.
Okay, I don't know if you're going to be the asshole because I don't know the whole story yet, but a PowerPoint seems like a little fucking much. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Okay. If I'm the asshole here, I'll own it. I'm not sorry, but like it would be good to know because the rest of my family thinks this went too far. What?
Do they think it went too far because you did a fucking PowerPoint?
You're just so stuck on this PowerPoint.
It's fucking ridiculous.
All right, let me.
If we ever get in an argument and you show me a PowerPoint, I'm fucking going fishing.
What if I show you a Word doc?
Why can't you just fucking tell me?
I don't know.
I don't have time to watch your fucking PowerPoint presentation.
Okay, anyway. Are you done?
I don't know.
Okay. My 24 female mom died when I was 7 from leukemia. I had very few memories of her from when she was sick, and I didn't get to spend a lot of time with her in the last year. But she was an artist, and until she couldn't anymore, she would make me little collages when she was in the hospital with drawings and photos and messages for me. My grandmother put them all in a book for me after she died. I wanted to be like my mom, and my counselor thought it would help. Excuse me. So I started a journal where I would do kind of a similar thing, and I've done at least 1 page a week all these years ever since my mom died. More when I miss her or have something hard going on. So I have kind of a unique record of my mental state over the last 16 years. My father remarried when I was 9. My stepmother really leaned hard into the I'm your mom now, and my father didn't stop her. It improved when they had my half brother because she basically forgot about me then. Unfortunately, he got cancer when he was 3, and I pretty much ceased to exist for my father. He was either working or gone with my brother, and I spent all my teen years mostly at home alone or with my grandparents. The mantra was that my brother needed to be the focus because he might die, so I needed to not be selfish since I was healthy. I stopped trying to talk to him when I was 16, and it was a dark time. I moved out when I was 18 and cut them off completely. My grandparents let me know that my brother died a couple of years ago, but respected my desire to remain no contact with my father. He recently reached out to them because he wanted to see me and talk. I went through my old journals and made him a PowerPoint with images of the entries where I had talked about being frustrated and feeling abandoned and unwanted. some with literal quotes of things my dad had said to me during arguments, even the really dark stuff from when I was seriously depressed. Then I ended it with a photo of one of my mom's collages where she had written, "Remember that your dad and I are always here for you." And I wrote, "You failed. Go away." Underneath. I felt like him being able to see it from my literal perspective would communicate why I don't want him back better than I could. Eventually it worked, but a little too well. Because I've been bombarded by family telling me that it's understandable that I don't want to see him, but what I sent gutted him, and he's completely fallen apart after reading through it, and it was unnecessarily cruel. Maybe it was. I know my bar for this is kind of weird sometimes, so am I the asshole? There is some edits, so I'm going to read those before we respond.
Okay.
Edit a couple of follow-up notes since it comes up in the comments. I loved my brother. I don't resent him. He was a good kid, and I wish he was still with us. None of this is his fault. To me, it is completely my father's and to a lesser extent stepmother's. The parents prevented me from spending time with him as he got sicker, so I wouldn't have been allowed to be there for him even if I had been able to, which I wasn't towards the end because I was also struggling to stay alive. I have empathy. I understand what my father lost. I was there. I also lost those same people, plus effectively my father. Even so, to me, there is no excuse for completely shutting your own kid completely out of your life while also preventing them from getting any kind of help. I understand depression and freezing up. I've been there, and I still, even now, even not being an adult, manage to consider the impact of my behavior on other people. If he was that bad off, he should have given me up to be raised by someone else. My mom's parents asked, and he wouldn't agree to let me stay with them full time. I could have had a dad that was able to occasionally tell me he loved me, even if it was just a text message. Alternatively, I could have lived with my grandparents and had people around me who cared about me every day, even if it wasn't my father. I got neither, and every request for help of any kind was met with, "Suck it up." I can empathize with having to function while breaking down inside, but I can't empathize with what he did. I gather from relatives who have backed off after some hard boundary settings that my father and stepmother split not long ago and are in a divorce proceedings, which is why he reached out now and why the rest of the family was upset with how I responded at the time. He wasn't in a good place already. I've told them that if they care about him, to encourage him to keep away from me, refuse to pass on any messages, and try to get him into inpatient care or something if they're worried he's going to do something rash. I don't want anything to do with him, and I've told them that I don't want to hear about anything that happens after this point. But the rest of the family loves him, so for their sake, I hope he pulls himself together.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now I feel like an asshole for laughing. um, There's a lot in that one.
There is a lot in that one.
I'm going to just kind of go off my key thoughts. Essentially around after she showed the PowerPoint and he was gutted from it. From the perspective of someone who has gone through the things that I've gone through and the depression and all the shit, it's kind of a I'm sorry, I'm going to struggle with this one. I'm not a parent, so I can't really give any insight on parenting. That's not really what I'm trying to do, but again, I'm struggling with this one, so I apologize.
It's all... Are you good if I hop in a little bit?
Let me try and squeeze out what I'm saying. The cat is knocking off our coasters, and this is how they get chewed up by the fucking dog. So anyway, what I'm trying to get at here is I think that it is the parent's responsibility to at least try to understand what your child's going through. I know that there is a lot of shit going on in that one. But after all those years to see exactly what she was going through, like with the things that she wrote down, she's got a good
log.
A good log, yes. To be that taken from it or like that gutted from it, it's like you're a day late and a dollar short
Yeah.
on that. I get being so fucking gutted from that, knowing that your child went through this or that, but you also should have been there for that child's grieving and depression and anything else. So I I don't really like that whole gutted thing because I just feel like they should have been there, and I don't think that she's the asshole.
No, definitely not the asshole. My big thing is that she tried to talk to him back then,
Right.
and
And was shut down.
get over it, suck it up.
Yeah.
She wanted to go live with her grandparents, so she had consistency. She had someone there all the time, and he said no. Why? Why? She already lost her mother from cancer, and now her little brother has cancer, and you're shutting her out.
Right.
And she got this stepmom 2 years after her mother died, who is now her mother.
I don't like that either.
I don't like that at all. That's not fair. She had a mom.
Right.
She had a mom. If she wanted that relationship like that with her stepmom, then yes, totally, go for it. But not only was she dealing with the loss of her mother, then she might be losing her brother. She lost her dad, basically, mentally. And she was alone.
Right.
As a teenager. And those are hard times. I had depression when I was a teenager, and it's hard to maneuver. It's really hard to maneuver to even try to figure out how to express your emotions and your feelings. I do think that it was good that she had, therapy and was able to make those collages and things like that, to be like her mother. And I think that that helped her in the long run. I think her dad just needs to leave her alone.
Yeah, at this point especially.
Yeah.
There's just sometimes you gotta just cut the bad fruit off of the tree, or whatever the fuck that saying is.
It's been 6 years.
Yeah, that's.
She moved out at 18. She's 24, and now you want to reach out because you're getting divorced.
Right.
Like, top comment. Not the asshole. I have a saying: if the truth about your conduct paints you in a bad light, the problem isn't with the truth; it's about your conduct. If the truth hurts your dad, is his own. If the truth hurts your dad, it's his own to deal with and not on you. Sorry, there was no punctuation.
Oh, that's all good.
So that wasn't not the asshole at all.
Yeah, it was a heavy one, man.
I think she got her point across.
I do too.
And I think that's what she was going for, was getting that point across. Like, she wants her dad to leave her alone.
That one kind of bugged me a little bit.
Yeah.
So I was trying not to struggle through what I was trying to say there, but
Right.
like, my dad knows everything that I went through. Through the shit that I was doing, I fucked up things for my dad, and I knew the blame was on me, and I took that very heavily. But later on in life, I did learn that Dad knew. He understood. There was a time we went and visited someone, and I learned a lot about my dad that night, and it changed my perspective. I still went, and it was still years before I got sober, but that always weighed heavy in my mind, knowing that my dad has gone through things like worse than I did. So knowing that in my life, knowing that my dad like knew what I was going through in like an unsaid kind of way.
Like, he related to it.
Yeah. That helped me. But in this case, in this story, it's like the dad didn't even try to know.
And we're back. Sorry about that, guys. We had some technical difficulties. I think we've got it figured out, hopefully. We were not really sure where we ended on that. I know that it was at the end of us discussing that last story, so we're just going to hop into another one. Am I the a-hole for not accepting my sister's relationship with my ex despite her having cancer as a teenager?
That's a fucking mouthful. Good Lord.
Yeah. My 25 female father married my stepsister's 23 female mother when I was 4 and she was 3. We've lived together most of our lives and are a family. She and I are extremely close. She developed cancer when she was 14 and was sick for almost 2 years. She's since made a full recovery. During that time, my parents became understandably overprotective. They also asked a lot of me. I quit my extracurriculars so I could get a job. That money went towards her medical bills. And so I could drive her to appointments. I didn't go to dances and any fun activities I did needed to include her. I did almost all of this willingly, the exception being having to quit my high school volleyball team. I did throw a bit of a tantrum about that, but was swiftly punished, and I think having one emotional breakdown was pretty chill given the circumstances. Anyhow, I go to college and meet my ex, we'll call him Ben, when I'm a junior. We fall in love, blah, blah, blah. He and I move in together, and when we graduate, so we've been living together for about 3 years. We were serious until July when I walked into my bedroom and saw him fucking my sister.
Oh.
I broke it off. Tears were shed. He moved out, etc. My sister apologized at first, but then backed off. I thought she was giving me space, but last week she called and asked if we could meet up. She told me that she and Ben were in love and they were just telling me as a courtesy before they started posting photos online. Distraught, I left her in the restaurant by herself and did not pay my portion of the bill. She later Venmo'd me asking for the money. She told my parents, who then called me to their house telling me how disappointed in me they are for not supporting my sister's relationship with Ben. They brought up the fact that because she had cancer as a teenager, she never learned proper social etiquette and has a hard time meeting people. I don't buy this. In part because I've seen her socialize just fine, and since we spent a good chunk of time she was sick together, that should also mean that I should have bad social skills as well, by the logic. They then told me that if I don't accept my sister and Ben's relationship, they may have to go no contact with me. I reminded them that I am also their daughter and they should understand my point of view, but they are adamant that this is about me being jealous of her. For the record, I'm not jealous of her. I'm not upset that Ben picked her over me. I'm sad about the end of the relationship and do feel betrayed, but Lord knows that I don't want to be with a cheater. What I'm upset about is the fact that my sister chose Ben over me, that she slept with Ben knowing he and I are in a long-term committed relationship and continues to be with him knowing how much it hurts me. Now, no one in my immediate family is talking to me, and I'm being messaged from aunts and uncles and cousins telling me that I'm being an asshole and a selfish bitch.
Does your whole family know that you walked in on them fucking while you were in a relationship?
Right.
What the fuck? Why is this even an issue?
And why are you using the fact that she had cancer as a teenager as an excuse?
What the fuck does that have to do with anything? She didn't learn how to socialize? Well, perfect. Did she learn how to not fuck her sister's boyfriend?
Right.
What the fuck is this? Case closed.
Top comment. Not the asshole. I had cancer as a teenager. I've managed to not have sex with either of my siblings' partners, weirdly enough. Someone responded, maybe you were on a different treatment plan.
Right, dude. What the fuck?
There is an edit and a small update. Edit, thank you everyone so much for your comments. This has gotten more attention than I expected and I'm having trouble keeping up. So if I don't say thank you, then thank you. I've been given a lot of food for thought. Truth be heard, while I have moments where I've been resentful or upset about my teenage years, I've always thought that I did the right thing for my sister and for my family. And that time wasn't all miserable. I was very close to my sister and we made things as fun as we could. But I didn't think of it as an abdication of my parents' responsibilities or that they were doing wrong by me, which many of you pointed out. I definitely have a lot to think about. Thank you again for making me feel less crazy about this. That was the edit. And very true. They made her stop all sports. They made her get a job to pay for her sister's medical bills, which was not her responsibility.
Fuck no.
She did not have her sister. That is her parents' responsibility.
Right.
That is their child. They need to pay the medical bills. Like, that's not... how that should have gone. She missed out on a lot of her childhood. Yes, she made the best of it, which is amazing of her. But she had to quit volleyball. She couldn't go to dances. Like, why? I understand her sister was going through cancer, but why does that stop her from being able to do other things?
Right.
And then to make it as an excuse is, oh, well, it's okay that she fucked your boyfriend and is now with him because she had cancer as a child.
A lame ass excuse. That's what I'm saying. Case fucking closed.
Yeah.
Like, this is just a bunch of bullshit. I mean, there's no other way to put it. It's a bunch of bullshit. I'm sorry that this chick had cancer when she was a teen, but hey, guess what? She's still alive. Mm-hmm. She feels good enough to fuck.
She's healthy.
Right.
She's in remission.
You're obviously healthy if you're fucking, but why are you fucking your sister's boyfriend?
100%.
And what do you mean? Like, so you had cancer when you were a teenager, so what, did you just not have any social skills before cancer?
Right.
Or what the fuck? That doesn't make any fucking sense.
Her sister pointed out, like, her sister took her with her everywhere she went.
Right.
So she socialized her.
Holy fucking Christ.
There is an update. There's another curveball.
Another curveball?
Another curveball.
What the fuck?
Sometimes you can only laugh. Just got off the phone with my cousin who saw this post and said he could explain a few things. I asked him why he was on Reddit instead of school. He asked me why I was on Reddit instead of work, and I said touche. He told me after my conversation with my mom, she went to his house and talked to my aunt. And here's the deal. Turns out my sister is not only in a relationship with Ben, but 4 months pregnant, which means she and Ben were fucking for longer than I had ever guessed. Apparently, my parents are so adamant that I forgive her because I'm already ruining their experience of their first grandchild. That's right. I'm less important than my stepmom posting ultrasounds on Facebook. This is where we're at. Anyhow, I called out of work sick the rest of the day, and I'm going to drink a lot of alcohol, like a lot of alcohol, and then start thinking about what the fuck I'm going to do.
Move.
She got pregnant by your boyfriend.
That's crazy. So that affair has been lasting way longer than anybody thought.
Yeah. Because she's 4 months pregnant.
What the fuck?
And that also means that she caught her sister and him less than 4 months ago because she said it's been going on a lot longer than she thought. So she's 4 months pregnant. That's a lot longer than she thought. Right. So what? She caught them a month ago, maybe, and now they want her to accept that her sister is with her longtime boyfriend? Because they got together when she was in college. They've been living together 3 years, moved in after they graduated. So they've been together for at least 4 to 5 years.
Jesus. Who the fuck are these parents?
Right.
Like, what kind of shitty person do you have to be like, meh.
Oh my God.
It's all good. What the fuck? Jeez.
This is ridiculous. Someone is telling them to get drunk, compose a Facebook post once they sober up, correct the grammar, and post it. This is definitely one of those situations where the nuclear option is the only option.
Hell yeah.
Even if only to stop you from trying to reconnect with these asshats in the future. Bomb them the hell and then go make a new family.
I fucking actually agree with that. I normally am not one to air that type of fucking dirty laundry, but that's not really your dirty laundry anymore.
Right. I can't imagine making your own child help pay for bills on top of that not being thankful. I can't imagine stopping your own child from activities because their sibling is sick. It's such a cruel thing to do by your parents. The least they could have done was to teach your sister a little bit of gratitude towards you. Whenever my son helps with my younger ones, I make sure to thank him and to give him extra privileges and extra fun time for being mature and helpful. How on earth did you end up with less respect and love for your maturity and sacrifices?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
No, she sacrificed so much, and then this happened, and her parents are like, oh, deal with it.
That is so crazy.
Yeah. Not the asshole. Definitely not the asshole.
It blows my mind that fucking there's people like this who exist. Mm-hmm. Like, that's nuts.
It is insane. Okay. Next one is from 12 days ago.
Oh, shit.
Yes, it's very fresh. Am I the asshole for injecting myself and my best friend's relationship because I think he is being a neglectful husband and father?
I didn't think that you were going to end up with that. You started saying inject myself. I'm like, oh, fuck, what's going on here? But anyway,
Yeah,
let's read the story.
injecting myself. I didn't think that was the right verbiage, but that's how they posted it, so that's how I'm reading it.
I understand.
They created a throwaway account. I'm guessing because other people know their account. My 31 female best friend, 31 female, since college is married to a guy, 35 male, whose life revolves around their college's college football team, and from my view, getting drunk. They're married with 2 kids, and I get the vibe that he isn't very helpful. He spends every Saturday tailgating all day and then going to the game. This is literally a 12-hour day that he is away from his wife and kids. She goes to every game, but is less than half the time he spends. We were talking about this last game, and apparently he had friends in town that he hadn't seen in a long time and got very drunk. Apparently he was loud, drunk, and obnoxious the whole time. He went out that night too and after and left her to parent both kids by herself. She is still breastfeeding, so she doesn't really drink right now, and it seems like she was frustrated with him. I've never really liked him, and I always thought he was not great for her or nice in general. Following social media, this has been something he has been doing for years. I went to the tailgate once, and I found it to be a miserable experience. He was clearly drunk and yelling, fuck this and fuck that. I reached out to him, sent him a DM on Instagram outlining my issues with him, and said he needed to be better. The gist was that he needed to sober up and start planning your life around the kids and not his stupid sports team. He blocked me. That night, my best friend called me and asked what I'm doing. I told her that I'm trying to get him to give him a wake-up call, that he needs to get his shit together or you guys won't last. I said I could tell you were frustrated with him. She said she was frustrated, but one of the friends he hadn't seen in 5 years at least. She said that he was up at 6:30 a.m. helping with the kids despite being out till 1 a.m. She says my message has caused a big fight and she is mad at me. Says her husband is great with the kids and only drinks on Saturdays with friends. She said she likes to go to football games, which I don't believe. And I explained that I was trying to help her out. I told her to wake up and that this wasn't a good relationship for her. She called me an asshole. She blocked me on social media. Every time I call, she won't answer and text back that we have a lot to talk about. But first, I owe her husband an apology. I'm not going to do that. Am I the asshole?
Yeah?
Yeah, 100%.
The fuck? It's not your business.
No,
we've had this conversation before. You don't stick your fucking nose in other people's business like that. Mm-mm. It is a different story if you and this friend had conversations about, you know, like if this chick felt the same way that you feel about her or about him, I'm sorry, then okay, yeah, maybe. But even still, that's not your responsibility to have that fucking conversation with him. If she's got a problem with it, she can address it.
Yeah, even then, like, it is not her place to message him on Instagram.
No.
And to be like, oh, figure your shit out, be a better father, da-da-da. Okay, we all vent about our significant others.
Right.
I vent about you. I'm sure you vent about me. It's a thing.
Yeah.
We live together. Mm-hmm. We get the best and the worst of each other.
Exactly.
You know, but if I went and vented to somebody and they messaged you, because all they're hearing is the bad.
Right.
She didn't hear that this man stayed out till 1 a.m. Yes. However, he got up at 6:30 in the morning with the kids.
Right.
He was still doing what he's supposed to do. And what? Because he's a parent, he's not allowed to go out and drink and have fun?
Right.
And she says she likes to go to those games. You don't believe her. Then you don't know her very well.
Exactly. That'd be like, oh, Jesse's out night fishing till fucking 2:30 in the morning. And then he fucking sleeps all day. When in reality, I'll fish till 2:30 in the morning, come home, wake up at 8, fucking start cleaning the house or whatever. Yeah. Like,
and then we go about our business and what we had planned to do for that day.
Right. You don't know jack shit. Keep your fucking nose where it belongs. Mm-hmm. That's actually probably how I would respond.
Yeah.
I mean, that shit doesn't normally bode well with me. Like, if, again, we have that type of relationship that if there's something that dire, you'll say something to me. But not one of your fucking
No.
friends. Like,
No.
I also have no problem with telling any of your friends or even any of my friends to fuck off.
Yeah, me either. Top comment, absolutely you're the asshole. You spoke up for her when she, 1, didn't have a problem. 2, didn't ask you to. 3, didn't want you to. 4, didn't agree with you. 5, was not informed about it. To be clear, even if you are 100% correct about this, dude, you would still be an asshole. You instigated a fight between her and her drunken, obnoxious husband without warning her and left her to handle the fallout alone.
Right.
Yeah. No, you're the asshole. Go fly a kite. Like, you should have kept to yourself.
It's been a really long time since I flew a kite. I don't know if I know how to do it anymore.
They didn't respond to any comments. They haven't posted anything else. I think they did not like the fact that they were called out for being an asshole.
Well, no. Duh. That shit happens all the time on, like, even my fishing posts.
Okay, so we're going to do one more. I'm going to give you an option.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
First, would I be the asshole if I told my husband to commit to a relationship with his kids or just leave them alone?
Okay.
Or 2, am I the asshole for putting a private conversation on loudspeaker, which cost my brother his 18-year relationship?
Holy shit, dude. That one.
That one? Okay.
Oh, my God.
All right. 3 years ago.
Ooh.
Okay, guys, I'm extremely tired and it's been a long ass day, so please excuse any poor grammar or spelling mistakes. To begin, my brother Ben, 39 male, fake name, has been in a relationship with Abby, 39, also fake name, for 18 years. They've been engaged 8 years. They've nearly gotten married 3 years ago, but months before the wedding, Ben chickened out. They went to therapy, and basically because our dad left us, he has issues with commitment. We thought over the last year he was finally going to step up for Abby and be the partner she deserves. He did seem a bit anxious leading up to the big day, but assured everyone he was okay. Today they were meant to get married, but as Abby and us bridesmaids were about to enter the church, Ben was nowhere to be found. Everyone tried to calm her down, saying it was traffic or he's probably had a monster hangover. Well, an hour passed, then 2, then 3, and then after the 4-hour mark, Abby said, fuck, she was going back to the hotel. Call her when he landed. My family looked panicked and nervous trying to get through to Ben or the groomsmen who had not arrived yet. My other brothers and brother-in-law, sister's husband, went looking for him thinking he got hurt or arrested the night before. I went back to the hotel with a very broken-looking Abby. We drank and ate food for about another hour before I got a text from my brother-in-law saying they found him in a bar and they were trying to talk him into going to his own wedding. My sister rang her husband and heard him in the background. He was literally acting like a 5-year-old who didn't want to go to the doctor. Honestly, guys, I'd had enough at this stage. He messed with this girl about too long, and frankly, leading someone on for 18 years is just cruel. So here's where I may be the asshole of the century. I walked into Abby's room and told her to be quiet. Then I rang my brother-in-law, put him on loudspeaker, and asked him what was going on. Then for him to put Ben on the phone. The drunk fool started saying shit like he didn't think she was the one, and he is only with her because they've been together for too long, and he is scared to be alone. I let her hear everything. I won't lie, I felt like a monster when she started crying. Abby then grabbed the phone, told him he had an hour to get to the church or it was over for good. Long story short, Ben ended up at the church 20 minutes later and Abby took off her dress and left the hotel alone. So he ended up being left at the altar and she went to the honeymoon alone. I've been disowned by everyone except my 2 siblings, my 2 sisters. And I had to get Abby's maid of honor to collect my suitcase from outside the hotel. Mom dumped out when she found out. I'm the full blame for ruining their relationship, and 98% of my family hates me. Am I the asshole?
After 18 years?
18 years, and they've been engaged for 8 years.
I don't think that you're the asshole.
Not the asshole.
You did her a favor. I mean, as cruel as it may have seemed at the time, you did her a fucking favor.
Mm-hmm.
She waited there at the church for 4 fucking
4
hours.
hours.
That's crazy.
And then they were
4
at the
hours.
hotel for another hour.
4 hours after 18 years and 8 of that engaged.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
and they were supposed to have been married 3 years prior to this.
Right.
And he chickened out 2 months before the wedding.
yeah, not the asshole.
No, she needed to hear it, unfortunately. Right.
Sometimes things like that have to be brash. I mean, there's like no other way sometimes.
Sometimes it just has to be a harsh reality.
Right, exactly.
Top comment, not the asshole. You did her a favor by having her hear it. You did something no one else ever did for her. The truth to move on. Everyone's saying you're the asshole. Have their own issues with being told the whole truth. Sorry, there's something weird in that comment.
Oh.
Edit to add, looks like, let's look at this a few years. Imagine the heartbreak she would have felt if she had had a kid with him or she was left in the lurch again. He left her at the altar. He talked about his supposed life partner as if she was an object. Do you honestly think you did wrong by helping her find out the entire unedited truth? To spare who? The same man that has emotionally tortured her for nearly 2 decades? She deserves better.
I agree.
100%. Like, I can't... Oh, my God. I can't even imagine.
No, that's wild. Wild. Well, what the fuck?
Yeah.
That's nutty.
I mean, and good for her. She's like, get your ass here. I'm leaving. And she's still left. And she's like, fuck you. Now you're the one who gets to be left at the altar.
Right.
Like, I'm done. She went on her honeymoon. Good for her. Go enjoy your time. Sounds like nearly a whole family of enablers. Not hard to see why he thinks he can get away with treating this poor girl this way.
Well, dude, and on top of everything, if you're not happy, just fucking leave.
Mm-hmm.
It's... God damn it. There's been a time in our relationship that neither of us were happy.
Yeah.
And I think it's one thing to push through for a couple of months and see what happens. Mm-hmm. That's what we did. Now we're married. Now we have a house together.
We have a much better relationship than we did then.
Way better. This is...
Mind you, that was years ago.
Yeah, definitely years ago. It was a rough time for both of us.
I would say at least a good 6 months.
Yeah, but not fucking... Who knows how long that guy felt like that.
Right, and the thing is we had conversations. We both knew we weren't happy, and we decided, okay, we're going to try this. We're going to put a bunch of work into us, our own selves, and our relationship. Mm-hmm. Like, we are going to do this, and we did. And the thing is we did come out stronger.
Right.
Because we communicated, and we learned how to communicate, and we figured it out. Like, this guy is just leading this woman on for 18 years.
Right. Well, and that's the thing, too, is that we were either going to grow together or we were going to grow apart.
Yes.
And it sounds like this guy already grew apart, but was just settling.
Yeah.
He's like, well, I don't want to throw away 18 years, but I don't want to commit to 18 more.
Right.
Like, Jesus Christ.
So you're going to leave her in limbo for another 20 years?
Right. The fuck have you been doing?
Like, that's not fair to her. She's wasted almost 2 decades.
It's not even fair it's not even fair to himself. He's doing himself a fucking disservice. But he's obviously too fucking dull to realize that.
Right. And then to go sit at a bar.
Right. That's
what
you're going to fucking do.
Yeah. Like, just tell her. Tell her you don't want to get married.
How fucking old?
He is 39.
So they'd been together
since they were 21.
Because
she was also 39.
Your golden years.
Mm-hmm. They've been together from 21
That's not your golden
to 39.
years. Sorry. That's like your prime. You lived through your prime with this person.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
That's so saddening. That's so saddening.
I feel bad for her.
Yeah, for her. Oh, I'm not talking about him. I don't care about him.
No, I don't either. He does suck. And good fucking luck in the future, dumbass.
Yeah, no,
Jeez.
that's no, I don't like that at all. That is the only post that they posted. It looks like they did comment quite a bit. I know for 100% fact my brother would have lost their shit if my husband was a minute late to our wedding, and that annoys me the most.
Right.
Like that's not cool. My brother is extremely manipulative. He can make himself the victim and make you believe it's your fault. Yeah.
That's just so crazy. 18 years is so fucking long.
Oh, wow. OP is only 28. So OP's known Abby for 10 years. Or 18 years. She was 10 when she met Abby.
Oh.
Abby was the bride.
Okay.
OP was the groom's sister.
Okay.
Yeah. So it says, I've known Abby since I was a kid. I'm 28. We are extremely close. Honestly, I would have done the same if it had been one of my sisters.
Either way, you're not an asshole. You fucking
Not an asshole at all.
You like the one comment said you did something that no one else dared to.
Exactly. Nobody else wanted to do that. And then for her mom to throw her luggage out.
Oh, that's just whack.
Like, why would you do that? You be mad at your son for leaving what was supposed to be his soon-to-be wife at the church waiting for him.
Just good riddance.
Like, that was one of my worst fears when we got married.
What?
Like, that you wouldn't show up.
Really?
Yeah. I hated it. There's so many stories out there.
You fucking heard me in the parking lot when I pulled up.
You were blaring the music.
There was no way. Who the hell was in my truck with me? Mitch? Yeah. I mean, luckily he's got the same music taste I do for the most part.
Yeah, Remington came running in and he goes, Jesse's in the parking lot blaring some music. And I was like, yeah, I know, I heard him. And he was like, oh. I was like, but thanks for checking, bud.
Yep.
No, you don't do that.
That is such a waste of fucking life.
I think the overall take here is that people need to communicate.
Right.
Communicate. Like, I don't understand how, like, this isn't hammered into people's heads.
Well, it's a very learned skill because through both of our past relationships, neither of us had the communication that we have now.
No, we had to learn.
Yeah, and I didn't even know how to talk to you, like how to communicate with you.
Yeah, there was a lot of me telling you how to talk to me.
Right.
And pulling it out of you. And there was some rough conversations where we'd sit in silence and I'm like, I'll wait for you to have something to say. Because I know you have something to say, so say it. You know?
Right. Well, and that was the thing for me, too, is like I would be able to talk to you better if I could just text you.
Yeah, and I hate having those conversations over text
I do,
messages.
too, because you can't get a grasp of what I'm saying or like how I mean what I'm texting. The benefit for me was that my train of thought is shit because of the pills that I've done. So it was easier for me to type out what I was thinking and then be able to reread it and like, oh shit, that's not what I mean. So right. I can delete this part, put in what I mean, reread it again. Whereas when I first started doing that, I was saying all sorts of shit that I didn't really mean. I'm like, oh, fuck. No, that's not what I meant.
Is this how you meant that? No.
Yeah. And it took a long time, but that's obviously going to be different with other people too.
Right.
But you just have to find that. It's 100% possible to communicate with one another. You just have to be able to figure it the fuck out.
Mm-hmm. You have to communicate. If you don't communicate, you're going to have nothing for a relationship. And you can't do everything over text either. Like, I know it's easier because it's easier to be able to have that train of thought and it's easier to be able to type it out and reread it and all the things. But you've got to learn how to verbally communicate with your partner.
Right.
And with other relationships that you have.
That's just again, it just blows my fucking mind that people out there exist like this. Like, what the fuck?
Relationship drama.
Yep.
Well,
we gonna stop doing that anytime soon? That's getting fucking weird.
Probably not. We just know how it goes.
It's true.
Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed this relationship episode, and like, comment, and subscribe.
We'll see you next time.
Yes, we will.
Bye.
Bye.